The beautiful game deserves to be beautiful for everyone.
Disclosure out on the pitch. Press red to watch now on BBC iPlayer.
Hello, my friend. Join me, Daniela, in starting things early this Sunday on BBC Scotland as France take on Scotland in the Women's Six Nations Rugby Now.
It's round 3 of the TikTok Women's Six Nations, and Scotland are facing one of their biggest challenges. They're in France looking for their first win of the campaign, but today's opponents have already won 2 from 2 and are looking strong. Kick-off is just under 15 minutes away. Hello and welcome. It's certainly an intriguing afternoon that lies ahead of us. A formidable France against a slightly scarred Scotland. With me for this one, former Scotland forward Megan Kennedy. Megan, there is no denying that this is going to be a tough test for Scotland. How are they feeling at the moment?
I think excitement will be high. Playing France in France is a huge occasion. The noise level is immense, the atmosphere is incredible, so I'm really hoping they can just go out and enjoy it today.
And for France, that's 2 wins from 2. They'll probably be feeling quite confident, won't they?
Absolutely. They managed to close out the game last week against Ireland with just 14 players, so I think they'll take a lot of positive from that and be really encouraged going into this match.
All right, thank you, Megan. Well, let's have a look at 2 matches in round 3 of the Women's Six Nations. Took place yesterday. England with a bruising 59-3 victory away to Wales. Italy, meanwhile, won 24-7 at home to Ireland. So here's how the table looks right now. England remain top with 3 wins from 3, scoring a remarkable 185 points from those 3 games. Wales remain second despite their defeat, but that could all change in 80 minutes as France also have their sights set on the Grand Slam. Italy move up to 4th following their victory over Ireland, and Scotland sit 5th with 2 defeats in 2 and are certainly keen to get some points on the board. Well, let's now get the thoughts of Scotland head coach Brian Eason ahead of the match.
Brian, the pedigree of Lisa Thompson and Jade Conkle-Roberts is inarguable, but how easy a decision was it to give them a place in your starting 15, given how little 15s rugby they've played between them recently?
Fairly easy, to be honest. The 2 of them have performed at such a level for such a long time. Lisa Thompson's been playing so well for the Sevens as well, you know, bronze medal out in Hong Kong, and I think the way she's been performing as well. Jade's just done so much for us. She gives us an extra ball carrier as well, so, you know, she's worked really hard on her rehab, she's worked really hard in behind the scenes. Don't think we'll get 80 out of her today, but just to have her back in this week has just been something good.
The only other change to your starting lineup is Liz Musgrove getting her first start of the competition. Why is that 3 the right back line to face France this afternoon?
Oh, look, I think Liz has shown a lot off the bench. I think she's brought a lot of energy off the bench. Corinne Grant's been good. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I thought she scored a really good try against Wales as well. But I think Liz has just brought a little bit of energy defensively. She's probably a little bit better against a kicking game. And we knew that France, even without bringing Tremillier back, they had a left footer. But bringing Jessie back, we know that she's got a long boot. So we know we'll get a bit of a ball on counter attack. So that was a decision-making process there.
You mentioned that game against Wales. 5 minutes in it, 2 points in it. Was there the sense that it was one that got away? And if so, what needs to be better today?
Yeah, it was one that got away. I think the 4 minutes, 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after half-time was the real game changer. I think we were 6 minutes inside their 22. So we've worked a lot this week just on, you know, if we get in there, we've got to come out with something. Looking after the ball in that kind of middle zone for us as well. After kick-off, they kicked off 14 players. We had to exit a little bit better. So our composure around that was something we've also looked at this week. So, you know, what a place to try it out and have a look at it and see how we're getting on.
So one of the try scorers again in that Wales game was Chloe Rowley. Let's actually take a look at her just now in action. She is such a crucial part of this Scotland setup. We can see her now, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Chloe suffered a pretty bad arm break against Australia in the World Cup, and she's definitely come back with a bang. She's playing phenomenal. You can see that England sent a shooter out of the defensive line, and that's not what you want to do when you're trying to defend Chloe Rowley. I think she'll pick out any weakness in a defensive line and any gap she's going to attack into. And once she's through that defensive line, her footwork to finish is incredible.
You can see her just dancing around the players, can't you? That's the Chloe that we all know so well.
She is very slippery. I would not want to be a one-on-one with Chloe.
And even for Chloe, her stats in the tournament so far, she's beaten 15 defenders in the first 2 games. That's quite a remarkable number. It's
incredible. I think as a support player of Chloe, it's difficult to know where she's going to end up. But yeah, she is incredible in open play, and against any sort of unstructured defence, she's very dangerous.
Well, let's take a look at the Scotland set piece, because we know that's a part of their play that they need to work on. You have been there before. Can you just tell us what's going wrong here?
Yeah, set piece has been a huge work on across the years, and there's definitely been improvements. Line-out-wise, there has been a change in personnel, so you're missing Emma Wassell and Sarah Bonner, who are your key line-out callers, but I do think the other girls have stepped up to the task. But you can see here, Wales just got the better of Scotland there, physicality-wise, sort of caught Scotland off guard, and back row unable to get off in time really to defend there.
And Jade Conkle-Roberts, she returns to the pack today. Do you think she'll be able to help that Scotland set piece?
Without a doubt. I think Evie Gallagher's been phenomenal at 8, but Jade just sort of adds that little bit of extra, and she is incredible at getting over gain line in all of her carries, so I think she's going to be key in getting front football today. Well,
let's take a look at France now. They are such a strong team. We can actually see them in action here. 2 wins from 2, a 53-3 victory against Ireland. There was no stopping them.
No, I think when talking about France, there's a lot said about their physicality, and that's not just in the forwards, that's across the board. There's threats literally everywhere. You've got your scrum half charging down a kick and running it in. Their attack off set piece is so dangerous. So a real tough challenge today.
What was it like playing against them?
Difficult, very, very difficult. France away are exceptionally hard. I think the noise that the fans make and the atmosphere that they make is immense, and it is sort of a privilege to have experienced that, but it is without a doubt very, very difficult.
What do Scotland need to do today just to slow them down and really get into the game?
I think getting out and on the front foot early, breaking that defensive line. When any team's put under attacking pressure, there's cracks bound to appear. But I think if they can minimise the amount of time they're having to defend, the first 2 games, we had 2 of the top tacklers in the whole round 1 and 2. So if we can minimise the amount of time we're trying to defend and retain ball, that'll be key, because defence is tiring.
We've spoken about Jade Conkle-Roberts back in the pack. We've also got Lisa Thompson back today, her 50th cap. Again, that'll be a good boost for Scotland.
Absolutely. Just that experience and that knowledge to sort of settle things, and a bit of composure is what's key. It's a huge event, like we've said, playing away in France. So to sort of have that composure and that experience in the squad, in the pack and in the backs is crucial.
And just tell us a bit more about actually playing France at home in France. It is a tough game, isn't it?
It is. My experience is... It's an interesting one. My only time playing France away, I split my head open in the warm-up, so it was a whirlwind. But I was in getting my head stitched, and then I played most of the game with a swimming cap of tape around my head. So it was interesting, but it is on. It's such an experience, and I think the girls out there should just enjoy it to its fullest, because it is a real privilege.
And we know that the fans really get behind this French team, don't they?
They love rugby over there, so it's great to see that crowds are growing at these women's games, and it's getting the support that it deserves.
What do you think Brian Easton what do you think his main message will be to the players before this game?
I would say taking the chances that they've got. They had plenty of chances against Wales that they didn't finish off. There was 6 minutes before half-time that they could have scored, but they came away with nothing. So finishing off those chances that they create for themselves.
All right, well, Megan, thank you so much. Let's get to it. We know the French love a home game. The stadium is filling up and the anthems await. It's time to hand you over to our commentary team for today's match, Heather Lockhart and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Iona. Welcome to the Stade de la Rabine in the northwest of France, where a daunting task awaits Scotland as they look to end a run of 11 straight defeats. against the French side, who have conquered all but England in their last 23 tests on home soil. Almost whatever numbers you look at, there's bad news for Scotland, but they have to believe they can pull off a shock result. They'll need skill, discipline, accuracy, and a big dose of Scottish heart as well. And Lisa Thompson leads Scotland out as she gets set to win her 50th cap, the third woman from Hawick to do so. Another Lana Skeldon in the lineup for Scotland today. Out come France, their first home game of this Six Nations. They'll be keen to put on a show for the thousands of fans that have turned up in Vannes. They were mightily impressive, France, against Ireland, playing 60 minutes with a player down, still managing to rack up 50 points. Scotland will have to combat that this afternoon as the teams line up to take a stand against racism and deliver a message. It's unacceptable in rugby and everywhere else. And here are the anthems, starting with Flower of Scotland. Next up, what's sure to be a rousing rendition of La Marseillaise from the French crowd. Well, I think that set the scene nicely in the French sunshine. Let's hope for a cracking game of rugby. France's team, 7 changes from the win against Ireland. Yana Brosseau gets her first Six Nations start since 2020 at Loosehead. Asia Kalfaoui comes in on the other side of the front row as well. Maëlle Picou is alongside her clubmate and captain Audrey Forlani in the second row. And Gaëlle Hermé starts at 7 in the backs. Legendary fly half Jessie Tremoulière gets her first start of the Six Nations in what is her final championship before retiring. Melisande Joren and Emily Bullard started against Scotland a year ago and returned to the back three. Well, Brian Eason kept the same 23 for the first 2 games, but makes 3 changes this time. The return of Jade Conkle-Roberts from an ankle injury at number 8 is a huge boost, given her carrying threat and leadership. It means Evie Gallagher switches to the open side flank. There's also a returning star in the backs as Lisa Thompson earns her 50th cap in the centre, having missed the first 2 games while on duty with GB Sevens. And Les Musgrove starts on the wing in place of Corinne Grant. Forward, Ambre Mwembe could make her France debut from the bench. Scotland will look for an attacking impact from Smith and Grant later in the game. The ball is slowly driven onto the pitch in Van towards the referee Lauren Jenner, who will take charge of her first match of this Six Nations in her second Six Nations campaign. The ball finally makes its way into the centre circle. And a ceremonial kick-off. There is Lauren Jenner, the referee from New Zealand. He was one of the officials at the World Cup as well in the autumn. As Jessie Tremoulière, a legend of French rugby, gets set to kick us off. And Heather Lockhart, what things does Scotland need to get right this afternoon?
I think it's really just securing ball, which we've just done there, and just trying to break down that superb French defence. They're on 90% tackle success rate, so in the first 20 minutes, just really trying to find a way through and getting a good start.
Well, that is a good start from Scotland, securing ball, and Katie Matheson puts up the box kick. Claimed though by France, and it's already a line break. Up the left-hand side goes Boulard, kick through, rollies across the cover, and it goes into touch. It will be a Scotland line-out, but that is a glimpse of what the French can offer with ball in hand.
Yeah, very much so. Just there, last week they had 11 line breaks, and they're just taking the opportunity. Just lovely kick through, just going into touch. But yeah, line breaks, got to watch for that.
Skeldon with a throw-in, and it's loose, but claimed by Matheson. Scotland under pressure. And it's a knock-on, which means it will be a French scrum. Scotland already under the cosh. Let's have a look at this. I think it's a French knock-on, in fact.
Yeah, it was. Hermé there, making her first start at the Championships, just getting up and trying to disrupt the Scottish line out there.
First scrum has been something of a problem area for Scotland so far. They've lost 4 of their 18 scrums in the Championship in the first 2 games. We'll have a reset here. Front row's keen to get acquainted. Scotland front row of Belisle, Skeldon and Bartlett played in all the matches so far. And here we go. Atkinson gets the put in, and that is solid from Scotland. Excellent start, and they're going to play here, but that pass goes loose, and now McGee is under a bit of pressure. She's done well to run out. She's broken the first tackle. Fran McGee's hearing up the left wing. Eventually taken down by Boulard. Excellent exit from Scotland. Mattinson puts the kick in. And suddenly, from on their own line, Scotland managed to pin France back. Here's Rowley. Opts to kick. Tremoulière thought about sending that back. Now she puts the chip in. Can she claim? She can. And now Bourdon, the scrum half. Lovely offload to Escudero, who's heading towards the post. Escudero for France. She's going to go all the way. It's the opening try from Charlotte Escudero. Fantastic rugby from France. Kick over from Tremoulière. Gathered, offload, and Escudero streaked away to give them the perfect start.
Yeah, just a wonderful sidestep there by Tremoulier, and then a little dink, and then Bourdon at 9 just on her shoulder, and Escudero, who only made her first cap in September against Italy last year, played all 6 games in the World Cup, just finishing superbly. Strong runner and a strong tackler.
Yeah, there just didn't seem to be any of Scotland's back three back there to have the pace to pin her back, and Scotland already up against it, against a French side chasing the Grand Slam, as Tremoulier, who got that move going, lines up the conversion, retiring after these Six Nations to work on the family farm.
Yes.
There's a bit of rugby to be played in the next 3 games, though, and she's very, very keen to do that.
Time's off.
Absolutely determined to end on a high. And we're going to have a check here.
Leo, we're coming to you. Leo, we're coming
Let's
to you.
have a listen.
Decisions try. Can you please just check that pass wasn't forward?
Okay, stand by.
So we're going to check perhaps the last pass here.
This is the best angle, Lauren.
Bourdon, who spins out of the tackle. It's that forward pass, hard to tell from that angle. On-field decision is try. So we need a reason, a clear reason for the on-field decision to be overturned. What do you reckon, Heather?
I'd say from that angle it's correct, but yeah, maybe another angle if they have one.
It goes off her other hand. It goes backwards, but then off her other hand, Lauren.
But if it's
forward. It's
okay,
forward.
So
okay, it's forward.
Okay. TMO, who is Leo Colgan from Ireland, is saying it's a forward
so there is no try.
pass. So Scotland are going to get a reprieve here.
I'll give you the mark. It's back on the 10
No try.
line.
Well, you can hear what the French crowd think of that one.
Oh, 10 metre line, sorry.
Absolutely, Scotland there. There's Rachel Malcolm just urging her team just to feet in the ground. Next job.
We're just confirming where the mark is, but it was a forward pass. That's why it's a scrum. So
very marginal, but that's the decision.
Yeah, it was tight, that's for sure.
Okay, cool. Mark's here. Thank you.
Didn't see an awful lot in it, but that's the
forward pass.
decision that's been made. And Escudero, after all that work, does not have the try to her name, and instead it will be a Scotland scrum. And they went well in the first one. Need to continue that and try and get themselves on the front foot.
Crouch. 4, 6. Bones. Sit.
Mattinson with the put in. France get the shove on, but Scotland hold firm yet again. Thompson puts boot to ball.
Inside the 50.
That's a good deep kick from the returning centre. Bullard gathers, sends it back, keeps it infield. Thompson has a little look, puts the head down.
Pulls out.
Gallagher hits the line. Scotland come back the other way. Nelson gets off a good pass. Scotland over the gain line. Whipped away by Mattinson. Here goes Lisa Thompson, show and go to McGee on the outside. We've already seen what she can do with open space. Scotland just putting the phases together. Nelson. Here's Emma Orr, the talented 20-year-old. Makes a few yards. Quick ball for Scotland. Gallagher in the wide channel. O'Donnell. She's hit. And then there's slow ball. France managed to just halt Scotland slightly. Belisle gets the offload away. Gallagher regathers. Here's Musgrove. Bartlett. Pass to O'Donnell. Here's Nelson. Scotland go wide. Here's Rowley in space. It's McGee. Can she finish? She's got 2 white shirts on her. One of them, Hermé, who then goes over the ball and wins the penalty. And that is the challenge, Heather, breaking down this French defence.
Absolutely, but just seeing that Lisa Thompson just adding her ability to pass into those wide channels, and Scotland stretching that French defence, which is really, really encouraging in these opening exchanges. There she is, just managing to get that pass away. Fran McGee, Swarm, they've done their homework. The French defence are there.
Emma Orr showing what she can do as well, turned 20 this week.
Yeah, nice centre partnership and a lovely pass out as well there. And Rowley coming into the line from full-back.
Cool, guys, you're on the map, so you just wouldn't need to sit.
Oh, Fran McGee is down and looks like she's in quite a bit of discomfort, which would be a real shame if she had to go off, because she's been a breakthrough player for Scotland in these championships so far. French line out goes to plan. Experienced Socha throwing in. And they've made the most maul meters of any team in the first 2 rounds. And you can see why. Bourdon charged down by Bartlett. Regathers. And Tremoulier calms proceedings. Rowley. Tremoulier thought about kicking again and then does the little show and go, bumps off Rowley. And she's held up here, tackle's called. Socha, the hooker. Bourdon.
Tackle off the ball.
And Scotland will have a penalty here, and that is a result, given the French had the ball, but a tackle off the ball is the call.
Complete, thank you.
And Helen Nelson wondered if she might have a shot at goal, but looks like she's opting to go for the corner. And it's a good kick. Good platform for Scotland here.
Yeah, very good charge down there by Bartlett. Scotland there pressing, and an opportunity here.
Well, Corinne Grant's on for Fran McGee, which is really disappointing from McGee's point of view. Grant got her first Scotland try last week against, or 2 weeks ago I should say, against Wales. And they secure the line out through McMillan. Here go Scotland with Skeldon with the ball. She's such a threat at the back of that driving pack. Scotland inch towards the line, good body positions. They're over the line. Is the ball down? Louise McMillan says it is. The referee, Lauren Jenner, can't see. Says no try, but they have the penalty. But that is encouraging, Heather.
Hugely encouraging, superbly well taken line out drive there, and Scotland just doing their homework, and another opportunity here.
They're going to try and build the pressure.
Lana Skeldon scored last week against Wales, and the pack will be looking to do the same again here.
And she's been pretty prolific for Scotland, the hooker. And again, it's taken by McMillan. France get the initial shunt. But Scotland still going. Skeldon still has the ball. France hitting back. But Scotland shift the point of contact. It's down. Just a few metres from the French line. And it's turned over. Bourdon puts it to Tremoulier, who clears. Scotland not done yet, though. Here's Rowley in broken field. That's what she's all about, Chloe Rowley. Taken down by Bourdon. Mattinson, Nelson puts the kick up. Corinne Grant's going to compete, but it's claimed by Boulard. And she calls the mark as well. And tries to go quickly, but the referee's having none of it. Scotland again building pressure, but just not able to convert.
Yeah, they will just want to keep the ball down here as much as possible. Excellent French defence on the line, and Chloe will be wanting to do some more counter-attacks.
Here's Grant. She fancies having a go. Taken down by Bougère. Malcolm, the captain, fiercely hit by Brosso. Nelson. Malcolm, I think, felt the full force of that hit. She's still on the deck. Nelson puts the kick up. It's a good one. The chase is also good. But France come away with it. Steaming clear is Lorraine. Off to Bourdon, who's going to scamper in for the opening try. Clinical counter-attack from France. One moment they're down in their own 22, the next they're on the board. And it's the little scrum half, yet again, scoring for the third match in a row.
Well taken there, and number 11, Laurence, just timing her pass superbly, beating Nelson there, and Bourdon, as any good scrum half is, on the support shoulder to score a great try there. But excellent takedown that left wing, transferring the ball into two hands, committing the defender, and great support line by Bourdon. Scored 2 tries last week. She really is a threat.
Absolutely. And it's no mean feat to fill the shoes of Laure Saint-Sus, one of the greatest players of all time, really, who retired after the World Cup, French scrum half, but Bourdon has stepped in seamlessly. She was player of the match against Ireland, scored against Italy as well. And she's got France in front in 20 as Tremoulière lines up the kick. And that's a shank from Tremoulière, which we don't often see. It means it's just a 5-point game for now.
Yeah, not like Tremoulière at all. World Player of the Decade in 2020, but she'll shrug that one off and move on. She's got a 76% success rate since 2020 in her kicking. It really is exceptional.
In Scotland, it's a similar story. Good pressure, good territory, but just the final part is the hardest, and then hit with a sucker punch. But they've won the restart here, and a chance to hit straight back. Or does the scrum half work? Nelson flings it out to Thompson, who stabs a kick in, and she really does add that kicking option from 12.
Hold low.
And Nelson sends it back, and that's a decent kick.
Yeah, I think part of the game plan definitely is testing out both sides, left and right, through the kick, and gaining some territory here.
She's part of the line out. No worries. Time's off.
And it is a cracking atmosphere in the stadium. The French crowd really getting behind their team.
Yeah, good to see some Saltires too in the stadium. Lana Skeldenswam, I noticed, and definitely a few others over there. So great to see them travelling over to support to Brittany, northwest France, on such a lovely day.
Yeah, not a bad day out. Not a bad day out. And you can see there, Scotland with 75% of possession, which is excellent, but it's what you do with it in the red zone that matters. And at the moment, it's France who've crossed twice, once ruled out for a forward pass. The second one
Clara, do we know if she's playing on?
standing.
That was a great take there by Matheson to get the ball rolling there.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Scotland need to keep this pressure on.
Yeah, chance for a little break, a little reset.
All right, yeah. Time's
Some
on.
beating down in northwest France. There's Audrey Forlani, the French captain.
Numbers. 5.
Socha to throw in. Perfect. Arrowed throw finds Picou. And the French drive is on. Scotland not committing too many players, but they managed to drive them back. It's good play. Tremoulier with an excellent kick right into Scotland's 22, over 40 metres that one. Rowley sends it back. That's not a bad riposte either from the Scotland fullback.
Super kick there from Jessie Tremoulier, just really exceptional. Great field though.
Chloe Rowley, such a threat for Scotland. 17 tries in her 54 caps before this match, and scored against England and Wales. And we've already seen what she can do with ball in hand, and she's not too bad with her feet either. It's France get the ball. Scotland attempt to hold it up, slowing France down. Forlani, the captain, Malcolm takes her down. Here goes Vernier. He's been one of the standout players of this championship so far. Scotland managing to put France back behind the gain line though. Ménager tackled. And in the end, France are forced to kick. And that's good Scotland defence.
Wing is on.
Grant with a loose pass. Thompson reclaims. Puts in a nice kick. There's a good chase on here as well. Bouchard does gather. Nelson drives back. Ball is out. Mattinson went for it. And it's a knock-on from France. Excellent Scottish defence.
Just brilliant pressure there by Mattinson, realising the ball was out and just scurrying round. Just excellent pressure. Just a few minutes later there, Emma Orr, superb tackle in the right wing as well, really putting the French under pressure. Ball seems to be sitting up a bit in this pitch. It's a hybrid pitch, dry day, so I think that both teams got to expect that.
Time's off. Actually, Les. Time's off.
Well, Scotland have held their own, it's fair to say, in the scrums so far, with their own put-in to come.
Yeah, I think the pitch surface definitely helps in that. Dry footing, so they should get some purchase from it.
We can see what they can do with an attacking platform. Here we go then. Doesn't come back too cleanly, but Conkle Roberts does fish the ball out. And Scotland are on their way. Nelson gets the ball back, that's nice hands. Grant, Rowley, it's just gone forward, has she reclaimed it? Lorenz was in there, but Scotland have kept the ball, that's good salvage work by Chloe Rowley. Bartlett.
Sorry.
Belisle, the prop, good strong carry. Bartlett, oh, and it's off the face of Conkle Roberts.
Play on. Came off
But
the face.
didn't come off a hand or an arm, so on we go. Rowley again. Scotland just not managing to go
The ball is available.
forward. France are terrific at slowing ball down. And Nelson says enough is enough. She puts up the kick, and that's a nice one. Took the mark out of the equation. Tremoulier, though, dancing feet and gets the kick away.
On the floor.
But it's straight out, and that's what pressure does.
Absolutely, and just like to see Scotland just having that a wee bit more patience as well. That's the French defence is built on that, frustrating the opposition. But if Scotland can just hold out with a bit more patience, and they'll get their just rewards.
You can see Tremoulier's frustration. That's a shank off the tee and one out on the full. She had a couple of nice ones though, but she expects a lot of herself. Here's Lana Skeldon. And Scotland get a hand on it, and Mattinson read it.
Martin!
And gathers. O'Donnell on to Skeldon. Mattinson, Nelson, Thompson, nice inside ball for Grant. Again, the ball is slow. Here's Orr, tries to go around the outside. Good line from Gallagher. Bartlett met full force.
Last one, close. Good counter route.
France get in with a counter rock. Hermé straight in there, driving back, and now France are on the counter, and this is what they like doing. Kalfoui makes 20 metres or so the prop. Bourdon spots some space in the backfield. It's bouncing for Bouchard. Grant makes the tackle, and she's in touch. Excellent scramble defence from the Scotland wing, because the prolific Caroline Bouchard probably thought she was in there.
That was excellent counter-rucking by Hermé at the breakdown there. Captain at the World Cup last year, being on the bench the last 2 games, but showing her prowess at the breakdown to get that turnover, to get that counter-attack. And a fantastic tackle there. Corinne Grant just, stopping Bouchard. Excellent tackle.
But again, Heather, it's that thing that Scotland have so much ball, and if France get it in their hands and they make 30 metres out of nothing.
But I think definitely just a wee bit more patience. The territory is excellent, and I don't think you want to give them too many counter-attacking opportunities, because that's where the first the try occurred. So just a wee bit more patience. Some excellent play, lovely inside ball there by Lisa Thompson, just varying the attack slightly as well. Furlani there, the captain this year. Last year was the second top 44 defensive ruck breakdown. She's just a real master at slowing the ball down.
Absolutely. Back in as captain, wasn't even picked to go to the World Cup. But new coaches means a new lease of life for Audrey Furlani, and she claims, and France get the chance to get that maul going. And Agathe Socha and others involved there. Bourdon, they recycle. Hermé, metres from the line. Nelson tries to hold up, but tackle is called. Here's Brosseau, the prop, trying to power her way over. It's desperate times for Scotland. France go again. And again. Can Scotland hold out? Socha makes a beeline for the sticks. Held up. Bourdon out to Tremoulier. Dummy pass, and she's over. Or is she? Short, says the referee. Bourdon is sacked.
We're playing advantage.
France come again. Will they drive over? Short again. Scotland defending for their lives. Bourdon, pass goes down, but there's space out wide. If Boulard can pick up, she kicks and doesn't get it down, and that looked like a knock-on. Lorraine has dived on it, but I think that will be futile.
What have you seen?
I'm not sure there was a knock-on.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay.
Maybe they catch the ball forward and then.
Okay, so you did see a grounding though?
Yeah.
Okay, so the on-field decision will be a try. Check grounding. Leo, Timo.
So tries the call, but it will be checked for a knock-on. It did look like a knock-on.
On-field decisions try. Can you please just check the grounding?
Let's see what happens here.
Stand by, please.
Certainly, yeah, it did.
Correct.
See the space that was out wide for France, though, but they just couldn't work it there. Good Scotland defence. Good football skills from Boulard. There is a grounding there from Lawrence, but
I already have you guys handed this? Yeah, correct.
Certainly a knock on there from Boulard. See the ball just kicking up, as you said, Heather, in the conditions. I think France might get a penalty for a dangerous tackle anyway in front of the sticks.
Yeah, I think Boulard does knock it on there.
Lauren?
Yes?
You may stick with your on-field decision.
Oh, they're going to stick with the decision here. It's going to be a try for France. It's maybe a Scotland hand that actually puts it backwards.
Tough.
And then the grounding. Raphael Ibanez, the France men's team manager, legendary forward, watching on.
He also presented the jerseys last night to the French team, so they were very proud to have him to do that.
And Lorraine's try does stand. And Tremoulier will hope for better than our first attempt from almost exactly the same position. Much better strike, but wide of the target. But Scotland just losing their line out there.
Ferlani just a real menace at the line out.
Yep, and it's good skill this from Boulard, and it's maybe the hand of Liz Musgrove that actually knocks it backwards, and then it's spilled out for Lorenz, who was able to get a clean grounding. And Scotland, for all their territory and possession and some good stuff, are 10-0 down. And you can see the France team having a huddle at the line out. They were told off for that multiple times against Ireland. The referee told them to hurry up. So it'll be interesting to see if Lauren Jenner will do the same. She didn't seem to there. But it's a clear tactic from France is to calm things down.
If in doubt, it's going to Ferlani. I think Scotland have really got to compete there.
Here come the French. Formidable pack of forwards. Changed 4 of them from the win in Ireland, but the quality doesn't really dip. But Scotland do well and hold it up, and they'll get the scrum here.
Yeah, I think Scotland just need to keep the pressure on, stick to their processes. They're in the right areas of the pitch, and just as I say, keep patient, and the rewards will come.
No, she hadn't changed her bind, so she'd always stay strong. Okay? That's it.
Great work by the pack there.
The scrum has been a good contest in the opening 26 minutes of this game.
Yeah, certainly the front row unchanged, and Louise McMillan and Lindsay O'Donnell doing well in the second row too.
Okay, you have to hold your weight. Okay, hold the weight. Okay, you guys also hold your weight.
What does that mean, Heather? Hold the weight.
Yeah, another way of saying it is be balanced. So it's crouch, bind, and you've got to be balanced in the bind. You can't go early before they say set. You have to go on the set.
The French crowd are certainly getting into this match. It's been fiercely contested so far. Scotland 2 scores behind. Mattinson puts the ball in, comes straight out the back, and the scrum half gets it away. Musgrove in off her wing. Or hauled to the deck. Here's Rowley, that fend, piston-like, so dangerous. Nelson, Conkle Roberts, such a bonus to have her carrying ability back in the side for Scotland. Nelson, Bartlett. Here goes Scotland. Skeldon in the wide channel. Mattinson. Scotland working the short side nicely, using every inch of the pitch. Good tackle. Really good tackle by Escudero. That's what she's all about. Top tackler in the French team in the Six Nations. That was a formidable hit. Check Scotland's momentum. But here goes Conkle Roberts. Skeldon. Brilliant pass for Rowley. Can she isolate the defender? Good defensive hit by Bourdon. And it's a French penalty. Caroline Boujard gets in and makes sure that Scotland are pinged for holding on.
Just France staying patient there and eventually reaping the rewards. Ball carrier, once they're tackled, must release the ball, and just there getting pinged for holding on to the ball.
It must be hard, Heather, for teams not to get dispirited. It was the same against Ireland last week, where Ireland had so much good territory possession against France, but France just hit, and then just wait for their moment to either pounce at the ruck or force a knock-on or something, and then you have all that time, all that effort, and it counts for nothing.
Yeah, I think you've got to set out your stall, and you know it's going to be tough. You know you're going to have to work so hard for your tries. France only conceded 24 points last year in their first 4 matches, so you know they're just not going to give you anything. But it's just hard in the breakdown, but just stick to the processes. There's lots of positive play.
Secure line-out ball for France, and off they go. Bourdon, Vernier, Tremoulier, Boulard, beautiful hands. Here goes Lorraine. Pass doesn't go to hand, and Musgrove dives on it for Scotland.
No, it was a forward pass.
And a forward pass.
A forward pass
Means Scotland will have the scrum.
It's no advantage.
Much to the ire of the home crowd.
Yeah, I'd like to see just in Scotland's attack, like Lana Skeldon, Lisa Thompson just getting on that ball and just stretching the width a bit more from the French defence, and then just finding a way through them. And sometimes Chloe Rowley was finding a way through them in the broken defence through the middle as well, so it's varying the attack.
Yes, I saw it. You've passed it forward into a player. Yes.
France still protesting about that decision, but the referee's not going to change her mind. And they'll have to try and just put Scotland backwards at the scrum if they want this ball. That one goes down, and penalty Scotland. I'll let you unpick that one, Heather.
They were stepping back, not holding
I think
away.
that was a 50-50 one there, and I think she's a judge that she's already talked to both sides about holding their weight, keeping the balance, and she's saying France didn't do that there, so penalty to Scotland. Leah Bartlett working hard there at the loose head, both in set piece and in the attack and defence. Well done, Leah.
Yeah, that's certainly an area of improvement from the first couple of games. The scrum has been really solid so far for Scotland.
Gary Strain, scrum coach, doesn't necessarily always travel with them, but is working hard with them in training, so they'll just keep building and building and building.
No, guys, we're playing on. She's not part of the line-out.
Or a bit of treatment or something there. Skeldon. Malcolm does well to hook that back. Oh, that's a big tackle on Conkle Roberts.
Advantage.
From Piku. Nelson clears downfield. That's a really nice kick. The chase needs to be good though. Boulard has time to send it back. Rowley takes a little look, and that was potentially a forward pass, but not called. Roberts, good hands. Belisle. Nelson. Bartlett thuds over the gain line. Nelson tries to turn the French defence, but it's straight down the throat of Boulard. Both sides looking to win the territory battle, and Scotland have done it on this occasion. It's another stray one from Tremoulier.
Yeah, just finding her rhythm in the first half, just bit of shade there, just unlike her. But yeah, Boulard certainly on the left there, just looking comfortable at fullback.
Yeah, she's a talented young player, Emily Boulard. Skeldon's throw goes right over the back to Belisle, who's trying to hold off Kalfoui. O'Donnell. Scotland have had a lot of ball around the 10-metre line. Can they venture further forward? Nelson. Thompson. And again, France are straight on it. Lorraine, but the clear out does come. Skeldon, good line from Gallagher, was that forward? And it's a turnover. Here come France. This is what they enjoy. Bourdon fires it out wide. Hermé taken down. Boujard steps. Here's Tremoulier, gets the ball away to Bourdon, steps inside. Just can't pin them down. But it's another forward pass. It's 3 or 4 from France now. Maybe just trying to force it a bit.
Yeah, that close quarter offload, but Furlani just in the right spot. She reads the game so well. But Corinne Grant there defensively didn't bite in and just did well there. Just, yeah, forward
That's
pass.
the forward pass there. Bourdon just too keen to get that away. And the water comes on. The players clearly working hard in the spring sunshine in France. You can see Pauline Bourdon there.
4 carries. We'll do a quick translation of the French stats.
I reckon that was 59 passes. Such a star of this side, Pauline Bourdon, the scrum half. And a try to her name this afternoon. And in every other game in this championship so far. Approaching 5 minutes to half-time. Scotland still well in this game, but it's been a while since they were inside the French 22. And this time, it's a French penalty from the scrum.
Not holding your weight, number 3.
Hodgson, head pats all round.
Correct, yeah.
This time the referee's saying it's Christine Belisle for Scotland that's not holding their weight, so reverse of the previous scrum.
Well, the teams know that that's what the referee's after. So obviously,
yeah, you're fine. Correct.
Hot on penalising that.
I would.
France
Cool, you guys are on the line.
will have the line out. Here they go. 10 of their 12 tries before this game came from either line-out or scrum platform. So this is real danger zone for Scotland. Bourdon, Forlani, the captain gets the latch with Escudero. Skeldon eventually hauls her to the deck. Here's Picou. Bourdon offloads to Kalfoui. Has she got the power to get there? Gallagher stops her. Bourdon fires it out. Try Boulard. France are over for a third try. And there is just a sense of inevitability when they get in the 22, whether it takes 2 or 3 phases or whether it takes 15, that they are going to cross the whitewash.
Yeah, very much, I think, a training planned move there from the line out, and just some really, really strong, powerful carries from the midfield. Kalfoui doing an amazing one there. Bourdon just popping, there she is. Capoue, power, power, power. Gallagher doing well. But just awareness, awareness.
That pass as well.
Beautiful pass. And she had the support as well. It's not just one, there's more.
Well, let's see if Jessie Tremoulière has found her range. Missed the first two. They've all been difficult, mind you, out on this touchline. She'll have a third goal. And that one hits the mark. Well, you didn't expect it to take all day for her to find the kicking boots. And France 17-0 in front as we tick towards the final couple of minutes of this first half.
Fantastic kick there from the sidelines by Tremoulière.
And it is dispiriting for Scotland. They've done some good things. The line-out's improved, the scrum's been fairly solid, but France's defence at one end is just so strong, and at the other, they're clinical. Hermé, the former captain. Tremoulière. Picou carries that one.
Yeah, 13's on.
Tremoulière clears, and that is a fantastic kick from the French fly half. She's enjoying herself now.
38.3 metres. Just, it's a skill kicking. There's Sarah Hunter. 141 caps.
Yeah, retired after that opening game against Scotland on our home ground at Kingston Park in Newcastle.
You're on the mark.
And in the final minute of this half, Scotland need to make sure, Heather, that they gather this and exit.
Very much so.
And they go to the front, and that's clever. Oh, and it's intercepted. Bourdon's going to come away with it, but of course, it was knocked on.
Bourdon just staying alive there, just alive to the possibility that it might be going short, which it did. But good option there by Scotland.
Yeah, and didn't quite go to hand, but it's forced a deliberate knock on.
The score is correct.
Penalty. And Nelson gets them just inside French territory.
Louise McMillan did well there. Sometimes the temptation is to go inside the 5 metre line and it doesn't go 5 and you get pulled back, but she did well there.
Well, the clock is in the red. And that one's not seamless, but Scotland do take it well. Skeldon has the ball back. Try to make a few metres. Momentum is stopped, and they go to the backs. Nelson gives it to Grant, who hears through a gap. Better from Scotland. Thompson fires it out to Musgrove, who's got space to stretch her legs. She's up to the 22. Again, France make sure there's someone in there competing. Can Scotland end the half with a flourish? Rowley. Oh, great tackle from Maëlle Picou. Met Evie Gallagher out the line, smashed her back. Thompson to Emma Orr. Always makes a few yards whenever she gets the ball. McMillan. Well, since that Musgrove break, Scotland have been knocked back out of the 22. Intensity of the French defence. Nelson puts the little kick through, but it's going to be dealt with by Bourdon, will it? And Boujard picks up. France just want to get this off the pitch and hear the sound of the half-time whistle, which they will do. And there is the half-time whistle. And there's been plenty of good stuff from Scotland, but ultimately France's quality both in defence and attack has come to the fore so far. 3 tries, and at half-time it's France 17, Scotland 0.
So the sun is shining in France. It's a beautiful day in Brittany and a packed stadium for this tie. France got off to a strong start, even with a try ruled out, but they finally got on the scoreboard. And then another, and then another. And Scotland will be looking to cause an upset now in the second half. So it's 17-0 at half-time, Megan. How would you assess that first half? It could have been more, actually, for both sides too.
Yeah, I think it's a very strong start for Scotland. I know the scoreboard doesn't appear that way, but there's lots of positives to take. I think France just sort of capitalised on Scotland's errors, made the most of unstructured defence and took their chances, which Scotland didn't do.
And we spoke about the set piece before. Even watching them in action there, how would you? What do they need to do better now in the second half? Looking at that set piece,
scrum time is excellent. Up until the last couple, I think fatigue was starting to set in. The legs were getting heavy, but the first few scrums were a real positive, and Scotland were holding strong. Line out just doesn't seem to be functioning for whatever reason. It could be change of personnel or just the occasion itself, but I think that's going to be an area to target for the second half, is just to go back to basics. We've seen at the end there when they went to a shortened line out that caught France off guard. I know it was intercepted and knocked on, but just changing the picture at line out time, I think, will really help.
Well, they've got a lot to do in the second half. But let's actually take a look at some of the action from the first half there. France could have been on the scoreboard very early on, but their try was ruled out. Can you just talk us through what's happening here?
Yeah, again, it's just a French attack off an unstructured defence very early on, taking the chances when they've got them and making the most of an unorganised defence, yeah, the pass was either very flat or forward, as it was called, so a bit of breathing space for Scotland there very early on.
Now, it was ruled out, as we know, but Bourdon is so dangerous, isn't she?
Absolutely, she's all over the pitch, and any sniff of a gap, she's going to take it. I think her and Tremillier, 9 and 10, are working really well together, and as any good 9, she's always on that support line looking for offloads.
Now, what about Scotland in this? I mean, that kind of really helped them, considering it was so early on.
Absolutely, it took the pressure off a little bit, but there's nothing worse than when you're just trying to scramble. Attack seems to move extra fast when you're sort of on the back foot, but it definitely gave Scotland a bit of breathing space. A
breathing space, and then it actually kind of led on to some really nice play from Scotland, which we can see here too, some really nice kind of play from Scotland in attack.
Yeah, really great run from Fran McGee there. I think she's been phenomenal. Sadly, she had to go off with an ankle injury, but really good attack, really good go forward, and then a bit of patience to go through the phases. Sadly, just weren't able to capitalise on that and keep the composure. But some really good attack, getting over gain line, beating very strong French defenders. We're seeing that play out the back quite a lot, which is sort of putting France, stopping them in their tracks a little bit. They're defending the front runners, so we're able to sort of exploit the space a bit through the gaps that appear.
That must be quite frustrating, because you can see them, they're playing really well, but just not managing to get over the line and just not clinical enough.
I think that's been the story of the Six Nations so far for Scotland, unfortunately. A lot of opportunities made, but very little have been capitalised upon. So like we were saying before the game, just composure. Obviously, playing in France, it's a huge occasion. You can hear the fans roaring from the stands. So I think that'll be the chat at halftime, just composure and back to basics. We've seen when there's catch and pass rugby, we're doing really, really well. So just more of that.
Well, you can certainly hear the fans, as you say, and the fans got right behind France for that first try from Bourdon. Let's take a look. We mentioned her before. She is just an incredible player.
Yeah, definitely. I think Scotland are trying to sort of play France at their own game with in terms of kicking, but in order to do that, you really need a strong kick chase, and that's perhaps what's lacking with Scotland at the minute. And yeah, like we said previously, Bourdon just running that support line and able to finish it off. It was a good initial kick chase, but we just got caught short on the blind, which France spotted and made the most of.
Is there anything that Scotland could have done better in this situation? Will Brian Easton be having a look at that and seeing what they can do, especially at half-time now?
I think there will be a lot of positives coming from that first half, without a doubt. Attack-wise, there have been elements of greatness, but a few of our own errors have sort of let France in. So I think composure is the key word, and I think that's what the girls will be hearing in the changing rooms, is just composure and finish off the chances that they're creating for themselves, because they're putting in a lot of hard work.
Well, France then got more points on the board, Lorenz, with the second try. Wee bit of controversy here. Let's take a look at actually what happened.
Yeah, so France had already had penalty advantage for something a little earlier on, but I thought they were going to go back and look at that jump into the tackle there. And a bit of a mess on the floor, but again that support play meant there was someone there to clean it up and dot down the ball. But relentless defence from Scotland in the first instance. They've been defending their line a fair bit in that first half, and they're doing really well to keep them out. But when you're defending for that length of time and that intensely, the cracks do show, and they just got caught out wide.
Do you think they'll be kind of happy with how the defence was up until that point, or do they need to do more there?
I think definitely they can be happy with that. They can be proud of their efforts there, but ultimately France are still scoring, so there is more to be done. But definitely positives to take, and the mentality's there, the attitude's there, and the heart's there as well.
And then Boulard with the third try of the game, obviously bring the score up to 15-0 and then 17-0. Let's take a look at this one, Megan.
I think France are just playing such a fast-paced game, and it is exhausting to have to defend that. Both teams, I think that would have been the game plan going in. Ruck speed for both teams has been under three seconds, and to keep up with that for 80 minutes is exhausting. And when you're defending as much as Scotland are, it's especially tiring. And yeah, just distribution from Bourdon has been excellent to put people into space.
What does Scotland need to focus on now?
The basics. I think it always goes back to the basics. A few balls have been going to the floor, a few risky offloads that shouldn't have been thrown has given France possession back, which means Scotland are again having to defend, which we said in the beginning that if we can minimise time in defence, that's where Scotland would be able to attack. Obviously, if they don't have the ball, they can't do that. So retain ball, do the basics well, and composure.
Because France are so physical, they're so fast, they're so strong, and we're seeing that kind of especially towards the end of the first half there.
Definitely, they've also got a very strong bench to come on. Bernadou on the bench is an extremely powerful ball carrier. I'd like to see a wee bit more of Jade Conkle-Roberts getting over gain line. I know it's a tough ask. First game back after injury, and it looks extremely physical out there. But I think just a bit more go forward, a bit more getting over gain line. Yeah, because the French are extremely physical.
They are very physical. All right, Megan, thank you. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the two other matches in round 3 of the TikTok Women's Six Nations took place yesterday. Here's a quick look back at the best bits from Italy against Ireland, but first, Wales against England.
Wales do have time to reset. In the end, Lucy Packer goes herself, scores!
Use it, 9! Back it, back it, back!
And England's more
Use it!
are being told that they've got to use this. Little kick through, who's going to be on the end of it? It's gathered in the end by Hurd! Tatiana Hurd is over!
Leon, pass is good.
What a pass out to Dow! Big handoff, she's still going, she's going through the gears and she's still going! That's amazing! Abby Dow! And that's quicker ball for England. Hurd just on that lovely loop played out from Aitchison. She's got support on her shoulder. She knows it's there. She doesn't pass, she finishes.
Yes.
And here comes Davis. Long pass out wide to Byrne, who hung out in that channel a lot against Italy. And here she goes again. Try and stop her. Oh, what a pass to Breach! That is wonderful. And Chestbridge knows to finish it under the posts. Vivas. And this is looking strong from England. They're going through the phases. Oh, it's Abby Dow again. She passes out, and Etienne Kildan, who's on. You can see the white shirts just flooding, and straight over goes Morgan. Marley Packer Powers for the line. Oh, round the outside is Hannah Bottoman. Kakabugura. Back towards Morgan. Beckett has it. She can see the line. Beckett! Sarah Beckett scores. That's try number 9.
Stefan will play it away. There's going to be no blindside pick. It's going to be out the wide. And Dinka coming across and managing to keep it alive to find Kapomagi, and then Mutso. Mutso looking back in field for Rigoni. The tap tackle enough to bring her down, but the reload and the try scored. Dia, and then it's Tunisi, and then plays it on for Duka. The 2 second rows combining well, and then Dinka. Oh, it's a stunning Italian try at the start of the second half. They're starting to go forward here at scrum time. There's a miscontrol, but they already had a penalty, and it will be a penalty try. Rigoni has chipped it over the top, looking for Stefan, but finds Elisa Dinka, who will finish off a superb afternoon for Italy in Parma.
2 brilliant games on Saturday, Megan. Now, actually, the Wales-England game, we do have to say at the start that Wales were ahead for the good kind of 20-25 minutes, which maybe would that come as a surprise?
Definitely. I think the scoreline definitely doesn't show just how competitive the match was. Wales held up very strong in the first 20-30 minutes, and yet at one point they were ahead. And I think it goes to show that although England do sometimes appear to sort of be in a class of their own, they are within touch and distance, and if you combat their physicality and match that, yeah, anything can happen.
The floodgates did open, though. We just saw that there in the highlights. Again, just showing why they are the best in the world.
Definitely. Their moves, you can see, have come straight from the training pitch, and they're so well drilled. They've been together as a unit for years now. Yeah, there are some new players coming into the squad, but they are just so well drilled, and it just shows what a massive pool of players and a good network in England has done for their women's game.
Now, a good win for Italy too against Ireland. What do you think Scotland will take from that match, seeing their next 2 opponents in action?
I think Italy's set piece will be an area that they'll look to target. Definitely, that was an area they struggled in against Ireland. But I think there's no doubt in the threat that they pose in the backs. They've got very good skills. Their players are very experienced, and yeah, definitely an area that they'll look to target. I think forwards-wise, Scotland will need to match up, but the threat really does lie in the backs.
Now, 2 very exciting games. Do you think there's anything to fear for Scotland coming up?
Absolutely. I don't think you can ever be complacent. I remember Brian Easton saying complacency is a disease. So, yeah, definitely you can't go into any game really lightheartedly. And although Scotland will be at home for the last 2 games, I think both Italy and Ireland will come all guns blazing. And
hopefully get a good crowd, because we saw the 2 good crowds in those 2 games there. It makes such a difference. Now, there's another good crowd today in France. We know that. But for Scotland going into the second half, what do you think is going on in the dressing room right now?
Like we said previously, I think Brian will just be calming the squad down. I think tensions will be high. The atmosphere will be electric, and I think that's perhaps what's getting to the team a little bit. Doing things that are sort of uncharacteristic. So calming things down, really. Going to people like Rachel Malcolm, Helen Nelson, and just trying to calm everybody down and go back to what they're good at doing, and that's the basics.
All right, well, very exciting. A huge second half coming up. It's time to hand you back to our commentary team. Here's Thomas Duncan and Heather Lockhart.
Thanks, Iona. Heather and I just chatting at half-time about how Scotland can possibly break through this formidable French defence. They've only conceded 2 tries in the tournament so far, so how should they go about it, Heather?
Yeah, it's just how to play against France in an unstructured way, rather when their set defence is so good. We're talking maybe about the possibility of doing a slight grubber kick, just some way to get into the 22. They seem quite comfortable under the high ball, but just varying the attack slightly. Holly Atkinson did a lovely grubber to Tanya Hurd yesterday in the Wales game, so maybe something like that just to vary the picture.
Well, Scotland are going to have to come up with something special, maybe something a bit different to unsettle this French side. 17-0 in front.
Ready, kick out.
The victory is probably beyond them at this stage, given what France are all about, but at least something to score, some positive play to take into those final 2 home matches against Italy and Ireland, which are most certainly winnable. And that's what Scotland are after, given they're facing a 12th straight defeat. And here come France with Grosso carrying. Bourdon. And that's a clever kick in behind, and it's got Scotland turned. Thompson looks up. Finds touch.
Yeah, Tremoulier there just talking about what we were just talking about there at half-time as well, kicking into space, making the backfield turn, work, and then they get the kick chase on. Excellent kick there by Tremoulier.
And there's that French huddle at line-out again. Not in any rush to take these. 17-0 up, there's no need to rush, but Sochat takes off the top. Bourdon. Tremoulier stretches those long legs. Bourdon. Escudero, who was denied a try for a forward pass. Penalty Scotland, and it's Evie Gallagher over the top of the ball. She got a couple last week, and at it again.
Yeah, great work there by the back row. Number 8, Jade Conkle-Roberts, and number 7, Evie Gallagher, working well in tandem. Jade doing well on her return first game of the Six Nations this time round, back from injury. Evie really putting in a strong performance too. Still think Scotland should compete at that line out. I think that would help.
You can see here, Gallagher was just poised to pounce, and as soon as she was over that ball, there was no budging her. Skeldon throws in. Not straight. And that is frustrating.
We'll line out. Scrum. Scrum's called. On the 15.
Well, it is somewhat of a new era for France. Thomas Darac, the coach, left after the World Cup where they finished 3rd. They were a last-minute missed kick away from reaching the final, but lost out by a point to New Zealand. And Gaël Mignot, the former hooker, David Ortiz taking over as co-coaches. They've had Safi Ndiaye, Laure Sansous, Céline Ferrer, experienced world-class players retire, but they just keep replacing them with quality.
Use it! No balls at play.
Scotland doing well there not to give away the penalty.
And Mattinson was straight on her opposite number as well, and there's pressure on the pass. Lisa Thompson tried to go in over the ball there, but France secure things. Tremoulier says that's enough of that.
Thank you.
And Musgrove, I think, touched that on the way through. That'll potentially be a France line out, and that's an error that Scotland just can't afford.
Take a step, please. Thank you.
Tremoulier as well. A couple of straight kicks off the tee and in hand, but she seems to have found her range.
Yeah, she definitely has. It was a tricky ball there. It was veering away to the touchline to take for Liz.
The sun will play a bit of havoc as well. Here come France. The drive is on. Scotland have disrupted, but it's advantage. Here goes Kalfoui up the short side. Bourdon is isolated. France get numbers in to keep possession. Picou. Conkle-Roberts gets in, but the knee's on the floor from Forlani. Tackle completed. There's Picou. Nelson tries the rip. Socha. France on the front foot and firing. There's Vernier, he's such a threat. Delicious offload. Boulard's going to cross for a second try. Sumptuous handling from France. Power, and then precision to finish. And there is the bonus point too.
Picou really showing up well today. Helen Nelson just not quite getting that rip, and just look at that offload from Vernier out the back and a simple drawn pass. Excellent finish, but came from the forward power play, but just Ménager, lovely pass out there. Great take, drawn pass, simple.
Beautiful rugby from France. It's what they're capable of, and Gabrielle Vernier has been one of these standout players of this tournament. She's got the most offloads. There's one there, and it's actually been quite quiet in this game, but give her a bit of space and that's the damage she can cause. Tremoulier will seek to add the extras. Too much curl on it, that one goes across the face, and it is 22-0. And Scotland would just at least like some points on the board.
Thanks, Alex.
And there's going to be a substitution. There's Jade Conkle-Roberts. Brian Easton said pre-match she wouldn't make the 80 minutes because she's coming back from surgery. But a good shift nonetheless, and Rachel McLaughlin is on in her place.
Yeah, well done, Jade. That's February injury and coming back and playing just now. Excellent.
Taken back.
It's another long kick. Rowley goes for the foot control and sends it back. Tremoulier
Hold wide, hold.
hoists it into the Brittany sky.
On.
Thompson's there.
Yeah.
And that one
On the full.
is out on the full. And you can see, Heather, when Scotland do get that kicking game going, quite a few times they have come off the better.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times they've managed to win that, so good take there. I'm not sure how much I would test Jessie Tremoulier is kicking, because generally it's pretty reliable, so maybe finding the space rather than finding the player might be the way to go.
It's all about what you do with this unexpected possession. Good line out.
Go!
France holding firm.
That's once.
Scotland have it. It's Christine Belisle with the ball under her Oxter. Mattinson says it's time to move. And Scotland just a bit of hot potato, but they've kept it alive really well. Gallagher. Counter ruck comes in from Berthomeu. Lindsay O'Donnell. It's just so scrappy, France. Experts in disrupting ball. Belisle. Nelson. Or Thompson on the wraparound, but she's thumped back by Maureen Ménager. Skeldon. Strong carry from the hooker. Flat pass for Malcolm. Mattinson puts the signal up. Looks like she's about to send this one up. And there's a chase on from Musgrove, but Boulard takes it comfortably. Here go France. Berthemieux busts the tackle, gets it away to Lorenz, who gets a big fend on Katie Mattinson, and she's going to cross. No! Rowley with an excellent tackle, but the offload goes in, and Gaëlle Hermé gets France over for a 5th try. And yet again, they open up Scotland on the counter.
Yeah, Lorenz as well, the beneficiary of a high ball, and just Berthemieux, what a lovely pot pass. Again, 2 hands, don't know what she's going to do. Lovely arcing run. Dangerous down that left wing. Well done, Chloe Rowley there. But superb support play from Hermé.
A dive in vain there from Chloe Rowley to try and intercept the pass, which eventually put Hermé over. Hermé is an interesting story, captain at the World Cup, but with the new coaching team in, as I mentioned, she's been dropped and had the captaincy taken off her and given to Forlani, but she's in for her first start and she's certainly proving her worth, responding well.
Yeah, just showing her character, so well done her.
That looks good from Tremoulière. It is good. And France are starting to motor in this second half.
Tremoulière will be a lot happier with that kick.
Absolutely. As are they. Enjoying some vintage French rugby in the sunshine.
She's also on the Players Committee for this year's World Cup, Men's World Cup, RWC 2023 in France. So John Neal's got her onto the committee, so that's great to see some crossover.
And Audrey Forlani, the French captain, is going to be replaced here by Romane Ménager, the twin sister of Marine, who's playing in the centre. Bouchard just about gets that kick away. Rowley.
Hold, Blue, hold.
Almost a charge down there for Scotland. It's bobbling around. Nelson gathers. Wasn't the cleanest connection. Chase isn't up there for Scotland, and now Boulard, who's hunting a hat-trick, puts the kick in behind. It's going to go over the try line. And Nelson will just dot this down. Scotland will have the goal line dropout and a chance to clear their lines.
Yeah, definitely for the kick chasers. Hard work out there. It's hot. We're on the 52-minute mark. So Scotland going to have to dig deep for the last 30 minutes.
Mate, just make sure they're behind you. Sit. It's behind, guys.
Yeah, it was probably the Musgrove break at the end of the first half was the last time I can remember Scotland being in France's 22. Tremoulière gathers. France on the front foot. Here is the replacement, Romane Ménager. Bourdon. Here's Picou, who's having a great game. Bourdon. Marine Ménager. Bourdon. Pass away. Here's Brosseau. Big carry. And Calfoy, the other prop, has a go. Tremoulière back inside. Ransacked. McLachlan's out to try and make the tackle on Brosseau. France just building the phases. Scotland forced to scramble and reset. There's Vernier through a gap. Power, power, try. Well, I mentioned she's been one of the standout players in this championship. Fairly quiet in the first half, but in this second half, she's come alive. offload to set up a Boulard try earlier, and now over for one of her own.
Yeah, that's her fourth tournament try now. Got one against Italy and two against Ireland. Just superb running lines, but Menage making a difference there. And the pace of the game just, she's just brought a bit of bite there. It's just seemed to speed it up there.
Yeah, she scored a hat-trick against Scotland in 2019, Gabrielle Vernier. And that's the easiest one of the lot for Tremoulière, who gets her third conversion. And it's starting to look a bit ugly for Scotland.
The pace at which she took that ball on the line, excellent.
Pauline Bourdon, one of the try scorers, is going to be replaced by Alexandra Chambon, scrum half. Replacements in the front row as well. It's Rose Bernardou's going to come on. Lindsay O'Donnell off for Scotland, and Eva Donaldson is on in the second row. And this is where you look for an impact off the bench to try and force something. France are just in the mood. Here comes Hermé. Chambon with the first touch. Socha playing scrum half, gets it away nicely. Brosseau, Vernier takes it to the line. Ménager, Boujard inside to Boulard, who gets the hat-trick. Simply sensational stuff from France. Scotland at 6s and 7s. The French turn up the heat in Vannes.
Yeah, there was just a gap there. Hermé spotted it, and just fantastic support play. Players queuing up on that right wing to score. Lovely hands.
Well, Emily Boulard is one of those having a great time. And France are surging towards 50 points. Scotland, as Tremoulière adds the extras again, but Scotland, it competed so well against France last year at Scotstoun, but France really are a different beast on home soil.
Yeah, they're just going to have to find a way to slowing them down. They've suddenly picked up the pace of this game. Their running lines, their support lines, their numbers. Just shore up a bit the defence, slow it down.
And that's Ambre Moembe, who's on for a France debut. And that's also the problem for Scotland, is when you look to the France bench, it's just more of the same. And Thompson tries a little quick restart. It does go 10, but France still get there. That's what Scotland need, is to just think outside the box a bit, try something different. But here go France again. Bernardou. Knock on. And Scotland get a bit of respite.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what Scotland needed there. And well done, Lisa Thompson, trying to vary it on her 50th cap. Always thinking former captain, season 18-19, Olympian. So great to see her thinking on her feet there.
I'll move out of your way. I'll move that way.
Mary McDonald is on at scrum half for Katie Mattinson, and Eliane Clark is also on in the front row. And this will be her first test. The tight head prop.
Bones. Set. Early push.
Free kick Scotland. France too keen.
Tap has to be at the back. Just a free kick, short arm. Early push.
Good to see Mary McDonald on there. Exeter Chiefs
Yeah, when you're ready.
Bring some tempo to the game too.
And it will be McDonald to take this tap. Free kick. Skeldon. That is a strong carry from the hooker. Nelson, flat pass. Good change of direction. McDonald. Nelson. Here goes Thompson. Tricky to pin down. Again, it's lost, and France can launch the counter through Bougert. It's kicked on. Eva Donaldson's going to be there to try and gather, but it's a bobbling ball. And still evading her. And then Socha gets up to make the hit.
You've taken it back. It's taken back.
And again, Scotland, from having a decent position, are back down in their own 22. Here they come again. Tremoulier goes for the little left-footed kick. She's got space in front of her, but it's well covered by Nelson. Gets the offload away. Malcolm, the captain, tries to get them out of trouble. Skeldon. Ferocious work rate, Lana Skeldon, within the tackle and carrying. Here's Tremoulier. How many times has she brought the ball out of defence, and she's tried it again, and this time she's regathered. Doesn't have support though. Scotland scrambling to their left. Chambon. Vernier's going to put the little kick in, and Boulard's going to gather as she is popped inside, and it will be another French try. Romain Ménager adds her name to the score sheet, and France are a conversion away from making up the half-century.
Vernier just playing heads-up rugby there, saw the winger was higher, and Ménager just managing to offload to Ménager, which is just superb. Twin sisters, Marine Ménager there, popping to Romain Ménager. Fantastic.
Telepathic.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You can see the pain etched on the face. It was
a good passage of play just prior to that. So Scotland just need to concentrate on doing more of that for the last 20 minutes.
Tremoulier getting used to taking these in this match now. After a ropey start. Another poor connection, but this game is a contest long since over. The extras won't matter, but Scotland will want to finish the final quarter and take some positives into their home match next week, where they will be targeting victory against Italy and Ireland.
Thank you.
Another couple of changes as Jessie Tremoulier has done her work at fly half. And on comes Carla Arbet, who started the first two games for France. Young up-and-coming standoff with Caroline Drouin. The usual 10 focusing on sevens rugby for the moment.
Tackle.
Vernier, whose influence has grown and grown in this game. Scotland again just forced back. Thompson leathers it up to halfway, more or less. And how difficult mentally is it, Heather, when you're in this sort of position? Tired legs, you're well down on the scoreboard.
I think the subs here have definitely got to me. There's Mary McDonald. I think the replacements have got to bring that energy and lift the others and keep working, and there's an opportunity each time. So just keep focused, keep talking. The crowd's one thing, but you're not totally aware of it. You're just playing your game.
France line out. Secured by Berthemieux. And that's a rare stray pass from France and a chance for Scotland to put the pressure on. Here's Boulard, been outstanding at full back. Muyembe.
Gets taken back.
Another really good kick from France. Just smart rugby. It's a good return from Corinne Grant, though. McLaughlin. Nelson. Again, it's that ferocious French defence, and then Hermé comes in with a counter ruck. They're all over there. Turnover ball. Lethal stuff, and now they're on the front foot. Lorenz. Chambon looks to fire this away. There's Rose Bernadou with a pass. Ménager looking for another try. And then a big clear out comes in from Muyembe.
Knock on. Okay.
It looks like a
2, 6.
potential knock on here.
Sub. 2, 6.
France are so good at shutting down that 13 channel. They just look, shutting Emma Orr's space down and turning over, and then but just slight knock on there.
Thank you. Time's on.
And a couple of replacements, Juliana Ree and Elise Rifonneau
Next stoppage, guys.
on in the forward pack. Agathe Socha, the hooker there, experienced operator. Controlled the line out nicely.
Yeah, she's got the highest throw success rate in the tournament, so a really useful weapon there.
Bind.
Scotland scrum. They want to end on a high note in what's been a really tough afternoon. Nelson. Danger here by Emma Orr. Always manages to make a couple of metres, and the penalty is France are too keen.
She did well there, she did super.
Juliana Ree, the substitute, too keen to make an impact at the ruck. She's penalised, and Scotland can get themselves up the pitch. Not the finest kick, but it is possession for Scotland. But they've got a long way to go to the French try line. France have them right where they want them.
Maybe play a wee bit flatter as well for the gain line. Sometimes they're just a bit deep in the back line.
Change at fly half. Helen Nelson is going to go off.
Okay, time's on.
Meryl Smith is on. Started the first 2 games at 12. Line out in. Eva Donaldson collects. That's good from Scotland. Gallagher busts the first tackle. And in that,
no, hold.
France just getting in the way, and then the pass goes to Deck, and then suddenly it's Hiram Scarum, but Thompson does well to secure things. Anna Ree tries to go in there.
Taken back.
Smith's first touches, a kick. And now, here go France. Lorraine held up well by McLaughlin initially, and then the ball's lost forward.
There's no advantage there. It's lost forward.
So knock on France. Scotland scrum.
Good to see Chloe Rowley there, just patting our players in the back, urging them on. That's nice to see there in the 67-minute mark. Great. Eva Donaldson, nice line out take, bringing some energy here.
Guys, you're very close with the ball not being in and the weight. Just you're very close. Just hold, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Your timing's perfect, but just.
Très proche. Okay? She tells her teammates, too close.
Again, just talking about holding the body weight.
Let's see what Scotland can do here, whether they'll clear their lines or, given the game is gone for them, will they try something from deep? First things first is the scrum, and they get the penalty.
10.
And it's taken quickly. Here's Rowley. That gets that fend out. It's just so effective. And here is Chloe Rowley. And she's tackled into touch. It's been a frustrating afternoon for the Scotland fullback. Just not had the ball in her hands, really.
Yeah, we know what damage you can do. Used to playing in front of French crowds, played for Lille, so did Lisa Thompson, so did Jade Conkle-Roberts. So it's not a place that daunts her, so she should be looking in the last 10 minutes to get more ball.
France line out, which, as you can see, they've not lost one yet. And that one goes over the top, but still gathered by Rose Bernadou. Penalty.
She was on that.
Off feet. Puff of the cheeks from Rose Bernadou.
Next job.
And Lisa Thompson will take the responsibility of trying to get Scotland some good field position, which she does.
On the line.
She's had quite a credible couple of weeks.
On the line.
Bronze medal in the World Series for GB in Hong Kong, and then Melrose Sevens Hall of Fame, quite incredible last Thursday. Back to her roots, and then playing for Scotland this week. Well done, Lisa.
But the line out doesn't go to plan, and Scotland unravel. Here's Rifono.
Tackle.
France won a 9th try, but that's poor. Pass to the feet of Vernier, and it's a knock-on. Game just got a bit scrappy in these last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, middle rather than sort of middle tail, just more middle front. Eva Donson had a nice take earlier.
Let's go. Set, yeah? Correct, 100%. But you guys just do hold that weight, okay? You just need to hold that initial shove. Cool, sir.
Well, the messaging has been clear from the referee, Lauren Jenner, right throughout about the scrum. And she's been fairly consistent in penalising both teams as well. Scotland heading for a 12th straight defeat.
Set.
Not even really been down the France end of the park in this second half, and now they're on the back foot again. Here's Ménager. Chambon, it's the ball away. It's Escudero who was denied that opening try. Forward pass. Philippon. And here's Ménager, Marine Ménager. Maëlle Philippon, the replacement. France making good yards. Here's Rifono, replacement hooker. Escudero takes it flat. Tackled by Clark. Here goes Moyembe looking for a debut try. Gallagher, though, is over the ball.
You lost off your feet.
Has to concede. Spilled by Romain Ménager, but it's regathered, and now France are driving for the line.
Tackle.
Here goes Moyembe. Chambon. Rifono.
Thank you.
Scotland holding firm for now. They go wide. Vernier with a missed pass. Out to Maëlle Philippon for a 9th try. Just the speed of play. There was a sense of foreboding for Scotland that it was going to end that way. And Maëlle Philippon gets her name on the score sheet.
Superb drive there by the French pack. Putting Scotland on the back foot and just recognising space out wide. Scotland just running out of numbers. And again, that right wing just Philippon finishing off superbly.
It's been a brutally effective performance from France. But not only that, they've played some brilliant stuff. They've been able to suck Scotland in and then just use the hands nicely.
Really powerful carries. Mwembe there was nearly on for a maiden try.
Carla Arbe on at fly half will take over kicking duties. She had a bit of a nightmare against Ireland off the tee with her first couple. And that is a fantastic strike, straight between the sticks. And it's 55-0. Agnon is on in the front row for Leah Bartlett, who's put in another respectable shift, but it's been a tough day.
Yeah, no, very much so. A great shift from her, and good luck to Anne.
Confusion there.
Dozer hasn't travelled 10. Scrum.
And Scotland just seem to have lost a bit of heart. Their accuracy
Absolutely.
hasn't been there for a while.
Okay.
And you can see Mélissa Lorraine being named Woman of the Match
Some great
by French TV.
Yeah, great runs down that left wing. Really strong.
And a try to boot.
Crouch. Bones. Sit.
France with the upper hand now at the scrum. They're just going to hold this and unleash the backs. Vernier gets the pass away. It's out wide. Here is Lorraine. Kick didn't go to plan, but it's still there for them. Gathered by Scotland. Here's Donaldson. Penalty, Scotland. Chambon, the scrum half, off her feet.
Time is off.
Yes, France just showing up really well. The front row, massive scrums there at the moment. Bernadou at tight head, really exceptional. But Scotland doing well there. Just getting the, yeah.
Bit of a head or neck injury concern here. Not sure who it is, can't see, but a chance for the players at least to have a breather. What is difficult, warm conditions. The stretcher's on. Well, there is concern for a Scotland player with a potential head knock. Warm applause from the French crowd, and the players just huddle up and try and get some final messages on for the final few minutes.
France haven't won the Grand Slam since 2018. They've won six Nation Championships, and that will be their focus for the next two rounds. But Scotland, great tackle there by Emma Orr. But Lorraine's just on that left wing.
And I think it is Emma Orr who's potentially down, and the player she's tackled has fallen on her head. I think that's where the concern is.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Great, thanks for confirming, Leah.
she is okay. They take no risks with this sort of stuff.
Playing the ball on the ground. Clearly just got full stop.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it won't affect Amor's tournament going forward, but is ahead. And there are protocols that have to be followed and return to play.
Eva Donaldson there just talking, which is great to see. Edinburgh University off the bench, played in the Celtic Challenge matches, and real leadership qualities with her, so great to see her able to keep her voice in the last few minutes.
And the Celtic Challenge introduced to play against other nations at a level below international rugby to try and give younger players some experience at a good level.
Yeah, Fran McGee, 5 tries, and Meryl Smith as well, who's on the pitch just now. She was captain too, so Scotland beating Wales in the second match. So great to see that's taking part, and hopefully next year and the years to come that will develop.
We'll be restarting with the penalty for you guys. White pin ball on the ground. Just we'll give them time. Yeah.
France are going across the fence, potentially do some
2 minutes left.
warm-up drills. Scotland players look on with concern. How difficult is it, Heather, as a player when one of your teammates is down with a potentially serious-looking injury? You've got to remain concentrated.
Yeah, Lisa Thompson, I saw her looking over anxiously, but hope she's in the very best of hands and will be given the very best of care. And we'll focus for the last few minutes.
France doing a rather cursory warm-up. We'll forgive them.
I've been impressed by Mayembe. She's come from the under-20s, played against England under-20s last week. Gail Mignot, she went and watched at Wellington in England. The under-18 festival was on there, and the under-20s were playing England-France against England under-20s. So promoted. Well done the coach for going to watch and having her eye and giving the opportunity.
Nice to see some youngsters in the crowds getting involved in rugby, although she looks like she's seen enough.
Yeah, great to see the boys and girls out in support. There's Mignot there, co-head coach with David Ortiz. 70 caps for France.
You played against her, Heather.
Yeah, formidable, really good scrummager, excellent operator in the line-out. Line-out maul was one of her specialities, and good in attack. He's got responsibility for the attack as well, and I have to say the attack today for France has been really good.
Yeah, and she's come through this internship programme that World Rugby have launched to try and get more female coaches in senior positions in the women's game.
Yeah, very much so. I think it's been every team at the World Cup had to have a female coach as part of this internship programme. Scotland had Claire Cruikshank. She's in charge of the under-20 futures side and was also in charge of the Celtic Challenge side. So it's great to see these coaches coming through.
Well, this has been a hefty delay, and heavy treatment still being received by, we think, Emma Orr. This is one of Emily Boulard's tries. And as you say, Heather, that attack, it's just flowed so beautifully all afternoon for France.
It was built on defence, so it's interesting. Mignot said when she took over before the start of this championships that their game plan is defence, set piece and taking the initiative, and that's exactly what they did today. They soaked up the defence. They've solid set piece, and now they're taking the initiative.
Big smile there on Emily Boulard's face as she crossed for that try, but it will be interesting to see how France go at Twickenham in the final Six Nations match. England have had their number in recent times, but that should be a thriller if, as we expect, both sides win next week. But there is a big gap, but Wales will provide a test for France. But
yeah, Wales, a tough loss yesterday to England, so they'll be looking to regroup when they come out to the Stade des Alpes next Sunday. That'll be another tough match, and France will be very much buoyed with the way they've played today, and I just hope that Emma's okay.
Yeah, it does look like Emma Orr. I think she made a typically brave tackle, but then there seemed to be the player that she did tackle fell on her head by the look of the pictures that we saw. And of course, as we've said, Head injuries treated extremely seriously in rugby, as they should be. And there's been lengthy medical treatment here, and you can see the France team going through their drills just to try and keep warm and not cool down those muscles too much. We still need some confirmation of who exactly is the injured player. But whoever it is, all precautions being taken, applause all around the stadium. And understandably some concerned looking faces among the Scotland team. Not a nice thing to have to see.
Absolutely not, and you're very much in the safest of hands there.
Nice touch, of course, from the French crowd applauding. And the game will, of course, continue for the final 4 minutes. It's difficult for players to adjust to that length of stoppage.
Just want to make sure they're fully cleared. Okay, guys, time's on. Find the ball on the ground.
Lisa Thompson will take this kick. Scotland try to end on a high. Line out doesn't go to plan. And France have ball again. Here's Vernier, kicks to space. Boulard takes, it's Ménager, in fact. Vernier. Well taken by McDonald for Scotland. Again, France just get so quickly into the ruck and disrupt ball. Romain Ménager on that occasion, and now they have it back. Wembe protecting things at the back of that ruck. 2.5 minutes left to play. France heading for a third straight win, Scotland for a third straight loss. Who's going to have the final say in this game? Annery. Arbe. Vernier. Lovely soft hands, Boulard, and Scotland get back. Corinne Grant.
Yeah, not this time. Well done, Corinne Grant, reading that.
Another ferocious hit from the French defence. It's been like that all afternoon.
Take a step.
No backward step. Scotland trying to exit. Again, it's just not easy to get to deck and present the ball. France not letting up for a second as we tick towards the final minute of this game in Vannes. Boulard carries. France want to finish with a flourish. Beautiful offload. Here goes Chambon, the replacement scrum half. Rowley again with the last-ditch tackle. Sensational defence from the Scotland fullback. Bernadou moves it on, interception. Thompson it was who got on the end of it. Offload to Grant.
No.
Thompson Scotland look to go wide. McLaughlin in midfield, and she's done really well here. Needs support though. Musgrove tries to go over, but she's driven back by Lorenz, the winger. And again, it's slowed down. Scotland. Secure ball, no. Penalty France as the clock turns red. And they want to go quickly. Escudero's away. The number 8. Here's Bernadou, the replacement prop, breaks the line. They want 60 points, France. Chambon. Arbet. Vernier with a great hands. Romain Ménager, but a great defensive effort there from Scotland to make sure she couldn't get the final pass away. Breathless stuff as this match draws to a close. Thompson just has a go. Scotland all the way back in their own 22.
That's time's up. Advantage.
And as soon as France get their hands on this ball, they'll either score or it will be game over. Here's Anna-Rie. It's turned into a maul.
Girls, there's no advantage there. It was lost forward, but that's the game.
Here's a full-time whistle.
It was a maul, but there's no advantage. It was lost forward.
France with a comfortable victory. A sensational second half display in particular blew Scotland away. It means they'll march on undefeated. Scotland still searching for their first victory. It finished France 55, Scotland 0.
Well, a frustrating second half for Scotland, but incredible dominance from France, scoring try after try after try. 7 in total in the second half there. A lot of work now for Scotland in the final 2 games of the Six Nations. Now here